now beaming into Nerd FT Radio.
This is Nerd FT Radio, where nerds full-time, explorers of the metaverse, surfers of the blockchain, and not in our mom's basement. I'm your host, RSG, aka the Warzone God, and I'm here with Crypto Crier, aka the Warzone Noob. How are you?
Oh, yeah. Doing good, man. Warzone Day. Downloaded it. Haven't
Warzone
played
Day.
it yet.
We're ready to go. Get the squads ready. This is where I have the con, Will Ferrell, and the conch he blows it, like to get all the anchors to come to him in his movie. But no, yeah, assemble. We need the squad, the Web3 squad. Remember, if any of you guys and girls listening to this podcast want to play some Warzone, please let me know. It's super weird, by the way. I'm just getting used to it because you have to open up the backpacks and stuff. I've already died like 7 times opening up someone's backpack on the floor because I'm just sitting there like trying to find the stuff and I just get mauled by someone just watching me. But it's out. It's great. I'm having a blast doing it. Yeah, you got to secure it, right? But I will say, first game playing, dub. Second game playing, got lagged out. Third game playing, second dub. Fourth game playing, I got smacked. And that's where we're at right now. But it's a lot of fun. But what about on your side? I've heard that you've been playing, what is it, God of War now?
Yeah, I've been playing God of War, yeah. It's fun.
Which one? The newest one or the one before?
The one that came out for PC in like January.
Okay, awesome.
Not the newest one, I believe.
I've been only told amazing things. And you know me, I love like the whole Viking side of things and whatnot, and that should probably
really cool.
File like straight down where.
Well, it's just like a cinematic movie. It's like you're fighting a boss, and then you go to the next boss, and it's like cutscenes and all this stuff. So, and it's done really well. Animation's done really well, and it's like difficult to play. I didn't do like the easiest mode. I did like the one under like insane mode or whatever, so it's kind of challenging, you know. So
I'm not the type of person to do that ever. Like, you know, in Halo you had to pick like, what was it, legendary. Yeah, I was not on, like I was on heroic. Not rookie, but I was on heroic, but there was legendary. I was on heroic at least. But yeah, no, it should be interesting. And again, I've heard such great things on the God of War side. I'm saying of here, right? Because you know I always say of wrong.
God at War.
God at War, but yeah, no, again, super awesome stuff on that side, and it's great that we're a PC individual. People that have PCs are able to play because it's only been a Sony exclusive on the PlayStation,
for like a decade.
It's been for a very long time, and of course, the other game that's come out, and we've talked about it before. It's been the Spider-Man games are now on PC as well. Yeah, so Sony's is allowing us to, you know, test the waters a little bit. So hopefully we can get into more games on that side. I'm actually on a wait list right now for a PlayStation 5. We'll see if
that's crazy. That's still not like just
it's ridiculous, bro. Available. It's literally ridiculous. But let's get to it. A lot of interesting topics. For the first time in 2 episodes, we're not going to talk about FTX. That's a good thing, probably.
Yeah.
That's probably not going to happen because like the next episode, something outrageous is going to pop out of FTX and we're going to have to talk about it. But it's going to be a nice little break to get into other stuff, happy stuff, better stuff that don't make you want to cry and punch a window, a door, a rock, walls, anything. So let's get straight to it. So, or me, yeah, you can definitely punch me as well, or, you know, maybe a cool cat or a gutter cat, who knows. So let's get to it. So we have some pretty interesting news. So every single time we come on this freaking show, every single time we go on a Spaces, every single time we talk about Web3, there's always a massive player getting into it. But on top of that, all the news is saying that this space is dead, that everything's going to zero, then all of this is a Ponzi. But after all the talk and all the things going on, and of course, all the bad things happening with what we saw over the last weekend, people are still devoting time and effort into it. If it's Microsoft, if it's Google, if it's all these major players. And yet again, we have Apple putting the stamp of approval on what we can do with crypto. So Crier, tell me what exactly is going on. So from my understanding, you're going to now be able to use Apple Pay, and you're going to be able to use USDC, which is the most, like, pretty much the one stable coin that everyone's like, hey, it should be good.
Yeah, so they are a payment through USDC, which is a company called Circle. We've talked about them a couple of times, but it makes it to where the Circle is the issuer of the stablecoin USDC, and it's taken by most of the US centralized exchanges. You know, we're still most of these centralized exchanges offer some sort of dollar stable coin. So we have like Binance USD, there's DAI, which is like another stable coin, but essentially they always equal a dollar. But the way this is so interesting is because now crypto native companies can now take on payment rails that is using Ethereum. So this can open up a ton of things for in-app purchases. It could help with, just acceptance of crypto in general. Now that you're able to just use dollars through the Ethereum blockchain, and you don't have to make an account, and you don't have to do all these lengthy forms that we talk about like all the time. It's that MetaMask, you make that wallet the first time, you start using USDC, deposit it to your account, and it makes it to where it's just seamless. And that's huge for me. I think it's such a cool opportunity because this is the first time that's going to be used. Apple Pay is most US phones, right? So Apple is the largest cell phone provider in the US, so this could accelerate a lot of usage. We've seen as new companies come in existence, we're seeing a lot more rapid growth. Like, companies don't take 20 years to peak and get make their processes known, whereas now Facebook fires up, you have a huge network, they make something new, it gets a lot of users really quickly because they already have a user base, right? So Apple Pay is a large issuer and a card provider. They even have their own card, so you're able to now just switch directly into USDC. I think that'd be massive news.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. If you want to take away from this in the simplest way possible, again, the reason why this is massive, and it's exactly what you just said, Crier, you do not have to sell the crypto to make an everyday payment now. You're going to be able, through USDC, make payments via this partnership that Circle went ahead and worked out with Apple and Apple Pay. So it's super cool to finally see this integrating. And again, we always make the joke of the U2 album that Apple just like dropped in our phones and we can't just take it off our phone. One of these days, and mark my word, that little wallet app that you have, if you're an iPhone user, I'm telling you, that will become their crypto wallet, and it's going to be the easy side of things. This is a step in the right direction. When me and Crier, you and I always talk about the simplicity factor of all of this. This is what we're talking about. This is obviously not the ideal, like, oh, this is what we want, like 100%. No, but this is 100% in the right direction of what's going on. So 100%. Hopefully an Android and all these other users. By the way, what does Android use on, like, obviously this is me being not informed on the Android and Google side of things, but obviously Apple has their wallet. What do
Google Pay? Same thing.
Oh, well, isn't Google Pay already do crypto?
Actually, I don't even try. They don't accept like USDC like directly or anything.
Not
like
USDC
that.
Directly. Okay, so hey, this is a call out to Google. Hey, button up, get something.
That's right. Get some going there.
Get
sure.
something
but
done.
Yeah, this is definitely the first direction. I mean, I'm sure they'll pick it up relatively soon because there's already means that there's like a legal framework for this to be actually doable. Obviously, because two giant companies are doing it. So very interesting. Good acceptance for just regular everyday use. It doesn't mean that this could be, you don't even know that it's happening, right? Because it could be where the people want payment faster through there. You're buying at the time of purchase, you're purchasing USDC and then sending it to them directly. Like, it could literally be even that. So where you don't even know as a user that you're buying USDC and it's being transferred on those systems or those rails just because the businesses choose to do that. So, there's a lot of possibilities here, and it just shows you how fast the space is, really growing, because it's mainstream adoption, I was thinking, is a lot longer away. And we've just seen so many companies coming in. We saw even Nike just had another announcement too.
Oh yeah, with their dot swoosh. So we can actually talk on that, because the next thing that I want to go ahead and bring up was the Adidas drop. So we'll talk into that. But another thing before we get off, we can talk both of them. Before we get into that, and just since we're on the Apple topic, I always tell people, again, being on the recruiting side of things, always, if you want to find the next big thing, it's always going to be those job boards of these massive companies. And the crazy thing about this is, again, Apple just again, if you've been on the news and whatnot, you've been seeing layoffs. You've been seeing from Amazon to Meta to Apple to hiring freezes across the country, across the world, everything like that. But one of the job postings that just came out, if I'm not mistaken, like 2 days ago, it was Apple job listings has revealed that a 3D world and video service position is opening up for their upcoming reality headset that they're working on. So when we talk about these companies seeing all the fuss, obviously this weekend and the last 7-8 days of like the crypto space have not been good. And Apple has literally put a stamp of approval on the metaverse, stamp of approval of a stable coin, stamp of approval on the overall space itself. And all these other companies
NFTs
are
allowed to be used in their marketplace.
So.
You know, there's a lot
NFTs,
of things.
all this crazy stuff, all these things that we talk about every single day. So when you look at what that next trend is, always look at those big companies. Like what are their moves and what are they doing? And remember, 100%. We're not in the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, even 90s or early 2000s. All of this is public information, literally at the tip of your fingertips when you type into google.com. You can find these jobs, see what people are hiring for. But let's go ahead and jump into Adidas and Nike. So where do you want to start? Are you checks over stripes or are you checks over stripes?
I didn't follow anything about Adidas, so you can do Adidas first and I'll follow up the Nike.
I got to think of the lyrics. It's checks over stripes. That's what I like. Yeah. And then Drake just says, then Drake just says fuck Adidas in his latest song, but we're not gonna say that because unfortunately, this is crazy. You know what, Crier? Why the hell has Drake listen, I'm a massive Drake fan, and in this album, not only did he FUD my Doodles bag, but he also fudded my Adidas bag. This man's calling out Serena Williams' husband like he's some like regular dude. This guy's like a he's multi-billionaire. Freaking what's his name? Alexis Ohanian. Like this man's like some, what do you call him, a groupie? Well, damn. I'll be a groupie if that's the case, number one. And then number two, this man's saying F Adidas. And I got all these NFTs of Adidas. What's going on? But let's go into Adidas. Finally, we have something with the little capsule that we just randomly got airdropped. And Adidas has finally dropped and said, we're ready to go. And these NFTs have officially been revealed. Now, what they revealed into have gotten people talking. And today, on the 16th of this month of November, they actually went ahead and did a spaces with the founders of Bored Ape Yacht Club as well. So the hype is there, things are moving, and it was actually one of the things that revealed. And by the way, it's virtual clothing that they're revealing. One of them is on the side of Bored Ape Yacht Club. It actually had the mutant, the skin that is it actually no, it's not even a mutant skin. The red with the eyes that open up.
Yeah, the DMT skin.
The DMT skin. It's going to be that skin, and they did like a puffer jacket of it and whatnot. So pretty much what Adidas has introduced is its brand new collection, which is its virtual gear. It's going to be a massive thing that's going to be coming into, I really believe, not only just whatever Adidas is building, but they're going to try to make this into maybe the other side, other metaverses and all these things. When we talk about virtual clothing and virtual assets that you're going to be able to put on these avatars and whatnot,
exchangeable between other.
And exactly, it's not just in one place, in one time, and in one location. It's going to be for multiple things, and that's the way that Adidas is trying to go for. And again, with these partnerships with G Money, with G Money, Bored Ape, and I think CryptoPunks, if I'm not mistaken, there was something there. But obviously, Bored Apes already owns CryptoPunks now, so it's the same thing. But again, what's going on here is they're going to expand into it. You were able to, I think it was like 15 or like 10 different clothings that you're able to get. They have stats on them, exclusive things, the whole 9 yards, and you're able to get it. A lot of people are upset. They were expecting a lot more, but this kind of falls into the conversation of why you're here in the space and what we're trying to build here. So of course there's individuals that came in here for the money. I'll raise my hand. I like money. There's other people that are coming into the space because of what the space can provide for them, an opportunity to meet individuals and be anywhere in the world and do things that you would pretty much do in person. If it's these metaverses, Decentraland, Sandbox, even the games that we grew up playing, all these games that we had these communities and the ability to play in multiplayer and all this stuff. So when I hear people talking about like, I didn't like this drop, it should have been something, a real life, in real life utility. And a lot of people throw utility all over the place, like every single day. And honestly, like, Web3 is literally the internet, being on the internet, AR, VR, blockchain, all this stuff. And I feel like a lot of people are focused on like merchandise.
The events you
That's
go
not
to,
the events, the merchandise, and all this stuff. But like, do you guys remember that all of this started on the internet, in chat rooms and video, because of, not because of COVID, but like we were locked in for some time and you saw the opportunity at
just the
hand where you
expression
could
of
actually still connect with people.
connection between humans and
Exactly.
socializing between people is needed. So we found a different outlet.
Yeah, absolutely. And when I had it was a chat that I have. It's one of the, it's called the Alpha Fellas, and it's the Dead Fellas Alpha chat is what we call it. And I had some people, Brandon, shout out to you, Brandon, if you're listening to this, as well as who was the other person. Let me scroll up and find the person. Let's go ahead. So it was Brandon that was talking about it, and it was, I can't say the, it's Cousins, if I'm not mistaken, and I think it was someone else. And one of the things that they said was, why am I don't care for virtual clothing. I don't care for this. I want something in person. I want in real life utility. I want all this. And when I think about the people that got into this space and we're talking about the metaverse, like, what Adidas is doing is literally to set a foundation of the metaverse. When you think about Fortnite, when you think about Warzone, you think of the gun skins, you think about the skins of your avatar, you think about WoW, you think about RuneScape, you think about the armor that you put on, you think about the swords that you have on, you want to look cool, you think about Farmville, that you have to have where you want to put your cows. You understand, like, people, me, in Farmville, I would put specific things in the freaking map so it looked cool. And where I didn't have to do that. I could have just done it unorganized and not done that. Like, people enjoy the aesthetic aspect of things, and they want things because they look cool. Why do you think you wear that Nike shirt? Because you think the swoosh and the brand and everything like that. So when I hear people say they want like more, I'm like, they're literally giving you the keys to the first ever of something, the first ever the first ever digital collectible wearable Adidas NFT. When you go back and you look at the first ever Adidas like shoes or shirts or whatever, go on eBay and tell me how much money that goes for.
Yeah.
The short-minded aspect of all of this, it blows my mind, but also it kind of enlightens everything, where people just don't see the big picture here sometimes. And for every right, again, people aren't gamers. People don't see it this way. But again, in 5, 10,
all these things that you're talking about
years,
are also super early. Like blockchain, personally, I think blockchain is more adopted than VR and AR. Like, I think those, I really do, because people don't. I mean, how many people do you know that have like VR headsets? I feel like they're not very used as much as
7.
I mean, seriously though, like on
4.
a global scale, I feel like a lot less people use clear. I mean, a lot of people use VR or AR than they do crypto, like on a global scale. I think those are the foundational levels of these things. They're not just not ready. People aren't ready to wear. I mean, look at I'm sure there's not a lot of VR headsets in like Vietnam, or where like it's like the number one user of crypto.
You're underestimating the VR game in Vietnam. That's all I have to say. But yes, you're probably right. And I get what you're saying. And again, it's out of the comfort zone. There's individuals that don't see, like, why would I want a virtual item that's a shirt? But like later down the road, like, these kids are growing up in Roblox, Crier. They literally buy, sell, and trade items for their characters. So when they get older and all these metaverses come up, like, that's literally what they're gonna like doing. And it's like, let's not Like, let's not let the kids win. Let's like be a part of it. It's like your parent, like you see your parent grow and the parent's like, oh shit, he beat me at this or whatever. It's like, I don't want that. Ain't happening here, folks. That ain't happening here. Don't, we're accepting it. We're going with it. I'm going to show my kid the best music ever. Like, I'm going to be the one that's hip, not him or her.
That's music.
And I'm going to be the one
with bad music taste over here.
All right. First off, listen, sweetheart, Future, fantastic. Drake, phenomenal. It is what it is. But again, I do see like it's an uncomfortable thing to be in the uncomfort zone. And when you things that you're not accustomed to, they're gonna have those red flags that pop up and everything like that. And that's what we're here for, Crier. We're gonna bring in the pop culture people, the people that have been here in the clothing industry, sneakerheads, comic book nerds, video game nerds, all these people. And that's why you and we're connecting all this together so they understand what's happening here. All right, I get that. So let's go into the other topic because by the way, my Adidas drop. I gotta tell you what I got. I have no idea what this is called. It's like C2171 is what it's called. An energy blue. It looks like maybe they could have done a little bit better work on this one. All right, so go ahead, Crier. Let's go into Nike. So what's going on with Nike?
So they launched a Web3 marketplace called Nike.Swoosh. Okay. So it will be a Web3 enabled platform for anyone to kind of create and sell their artwork, or there's going to be digital shoes and digital 3D jerseys that you can create and help build, and people who are kind of building these things now in Maya or 3D modeler or stuff like that can now create their own things and sell them on the site. So it's pretty interesting stuff. It's going to be just like a marketplace, just how OpenSea has a marketplace, and now they're going to be selling all their digital collectibles on here, and it's going to start in 2023. So pretty interesting stuff. I mean, sounds kind of similar to what Adidas is doing, the digital, shoes. We've already seen Nike do the digital shoes with Artifact and all that stuff. So, it has demand. So we know that it works. I would say Nike's probably one of the most successful companies in the NFT space. World. They had, how much was it? $100 million or something like that? It was
ridiculous. It was a lot. Yeah, we definitely messed that one up. We were like, yeah, that's not the way to do it. And they're like outbeating all of us. Like, massively. I
mean, they're already a company established. They know how to.
It's a brand established. It's a brand that they love. Not even on the market. Here's the thing. I'm going to say something really quick. I don't think they haven't done a good job marketing Artifact. They haven't even done really that much on the marketing side of it. They just literally bought Artifact, and that elevates. Like, let me ask you something, Crier. What's Artifact at right now? 9, 10 ETH. Let's just say 8.
Clones you're talking about? Or
Clones. 80.
Yeah,
let's just say 8. Like let's do flat 8 right now. If Nike never purchased them, do you think they'd be at 8?
No.
Absolutely not. 110%
I
not.
Agree.
So again, that Nike, they can just put that stamp of approval and then things pop up. But I get what you're saying, like that brand aspect of it. You put the Nike, the check mark, it's like, oh, well, this thing's going to the moon. So yeah, but I will say that the really cool thing that I did see about the Nike aspect of it, if you are a creator, an artist, whatever the case may be, of like creating these, this gear and everything with them, there's going to be a royalty aspect of it. If you are a creator, you're going to be rewarded for this. And that's a little bit different on the side of Adidas. Adidas dropped a collection, kind of like, hey, here's 7 new pieces or 7 new shirts, or it was like puffer jackets, right? Here's 15 new puffer jackets, and there it is. This on this side is Nike wants to work with the creator, with the artist here, and add royalties. And that's what, again, the royalty talk's been going pretty heavy lately with like the OpenSea news. Looks rare, Blur. Should royalties be a thing? Should they not? Should they be implemented? Should they not be implemented? And Nike's going the route of like, hey, we want creators to come in and we want royalty aspect of it. If you're here to build, we're going to provide you with something as well. And that's where I think on the Nike side, A+ on their side, they actually get the check mark, because Adidas just gave me some weird ass puffer jacket. But no, I'm kidding. It looks pretty cool on the Adidas side. I don't need any Adidas Maxis going ham on me, but it looks cool. Hopefully they do something. Hey, listen, man, there's some. I know Kanye drug him through the dirt a little bit, but like, they people like their Adidas. So we'll see how it goes and what they build. Remember, people that hold those Adidas NFTs, that's just the capsule is just one thing. They still have the other NFT. We're still getting our tracksuit. By the way, massive people in the soccer space have been wearing that tracksuit. And if you went and saw the last Adidas commercial, there was a Bored Ape in there. There was the tracksuit, the whole 9 yards. They're implementing what they're building in Web3 in the everyday lives of everything. And it's soccer right now. Hey, by the way, we're Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We're 4 days away from the biggest event in the entire world on the sports. Over 1 billion people are going to tune into the World Cup. And you have Adidas, which is a massive person in the space of sports and soccer, posting about their Bored Ape, posting about their project, showcasing their Adidas athletes with all their gear. So again, I really do think, I know it's cheesy and all, but we're still early in this. And one of these days we're going to be laughing to the metaverse bank. Or actually, no, wait, hold up, time out. Crier, is there going to be a bank in the metaverse, or is it there's not?
I mean,
that's funny, right? Come on, that was
a tough
joke.
one right there, right?
They'll
be like loan officers.
You don't want a bank. No, we don't want that. We store it in a cold wallet, in a hot wallet. Store it in your own wallet. We're not doing banks anymore.
You don't think they're gonna have a JP Morgan coin outlet in the metaverse?
Oh, yeah, 110%.
I definitely think they will.
Yeah, it's definitely gonna happen. Awful. I will say, by the way, over the weekend, did you know that Leisure just like blew up? Like they're up 300% in sales over the weekend because of this FTX thing. It's fucking ridiculous. Good for you.
I mean, I believe
if
it.
anyone's listening, good job. You did a great job.
Hey,
by the way, I did something. I bought my Deadfellas Leisure, so this is gonna maybe
you got
get
6 ledgers. Don't use them.
I have 2 ledgers, so relax. But anything else that we want to touch on the Nike side? Again, there is an allow list that came out. That's one thing I did want to say. Are you on that allow list?
I did not do it. No.
I did my homework, guys. I am on that allow list, so I will share my generational wealth. List. I will share my generational wealth with Crier when it does happen on the Nike side.
Perfect. I'll hold you to that one. It's recorded.
Okay, perfect. Yes, this is recorded, and this kit doesn't go anywhere. We
50%, or you get 49 and 51%?
All right, first off, share is more than 1%, less than 1.1%. So,
oh my God.
Let me know where you're at right now.
Perfect.
Correct. You're banking. This is going to be a good one. But,
it's going to be a big one.
This is going to be a big one. But I did want to go ahead and touch on, it's not actually a news story. It was an epiphany that I had from driving from Orlando, Florida to South Florida, Coral Springs area. Shout out 954 Broward. Shout out Kodak. I had an epiphany, like a massive epiphany.
What is it?
And I don't know how the hell I've been going on for a year and didn't have this epiphany. Crier, when I ask you who the hell Stan Lee is, there's 3 things that people always answer me. Number 1, he's the founder of Marvel, he is the person that drew Spider-Man, or he is a writer at Marvel. If I ask you, Crier, who is Stan Lee? What do you ask? I really hope you answer this right. Go ahead.
He's the old guy that does the cameos in the movies.
That's number 4. Not a bad answer, but really, who is Stan Lee?
He was the original illustrator of Marvel, right?
He was the illustrator is drawing?
Yeah.
No. Stan Lee was the storyteller. He was the one that created Spider-Man, Captain America, and multiple other characters, but he never actually drew. So,
oh my goodness.
The thing rugged, right? The thing that I think of this, like when I think of this, I'm like, wait a minute. And obviously, for you people watching on YouTube or any of my clips or our clips, I like Marvel. You can see it behind me. When I think of these stories, when I think of these characters, you think about the character development. You think about the lore. When you think about the Blue Cat, when you think about the Bored Apes, when you think about Doodles, Deadfellas, all these projects, where is the character development? Where is the lore? You see Deadfellas doing some lore with their jeans, but that's like a little thing and then it's over. Doodles, you see the little clips that are very short, 1 minute, 2 minute, but it's every 6 months. You look at Gutter and the story behind how they got to be Gutter Cats and whatnot. Love the lore, but then they come out with a comic. Comic isn't good. They don't touch on the lore. They don't build on the character development. Cool Cats doesn't do it. Doodles doesn't do it. Deadfellas does it, but like in short form. We want more. We need more, because at the end of the day, if these people in this entertainment, I think it was, who was the guy that said it? Was it Solana, if I'm not mistaken, the founder of Solana, or the whatever Solana? He came out and said that what's going on with NFTs is going to be the next entertainment for our children and the next generation, just like Marvel was, Sony, Microsoft, all these things, that all these characters that we love, we play video games with, we watch on TV, we watch on movies. We need that. And this is what is going to happen, but it's actually not going to happen if we don't have character development. If we don't have, I can't believe I'm saying this, storytelling NFTs. And you know the one project that's really fucking good at this?
Which one?
Cool Man Dan. Cool Man.
I do like that. Yeah, he is good. He got good storylines for sure.
Unbelievable storyline. And people outside of Web3 are watching. That's the important part here. When you think of the shows that are like massive in the space and in overall the world, Coco Lemon, Paw Patrol, Marvel shows, Mandalorian, Peaky Blinders, Harry Potter, anything DC, anything Game of Thrones. It's not truly the characters, it's the storyline. You can get an actor, and of course, don't get me wrong, the actor matters, the people matter, the aesthetics matter, the quality matters. If Stan Lee had a crappy design illustrator, we wouldn't be talking about Marvel, and I would have spent thousands of dollars behind me. Or we probably even wouldn't be here. I definitely wouldn't be here. I'd be in a hole probably. But again, what we need these projects in the space to go ahead and put more resources in is the character development and lore. Crier.
For sure.
Agree or disagree?
Oh, I definitely agree. I mean, that's the whole, we on the other podcast, we did the whole episode with the Story DAO is coming out in a little while. But they had, their whole point of the creation of the Story DAO was to have creatable, like community-driven IP that you can then sell to studios. You know, like the pipeline to Hulu and Netflix and Prime Video and all these things. They're constantly looking for new shows. I mean, how many new shows do they come out with constantly? They're always just firing out new shows and new movies all the time. And they're not like high level, you know, none of them aren't like crazy high level quality or anything like that, but they just have good storylines like that. But yeah, that's their whole goal, is to create IP that is worth the story. It's irregardless of NFT or not. It's just a good idea to help, you know, build and kind of fast track or accelerate people who would never get a chance to even have their movie even heard from like a studio, right? So I think that's super important. I think that's where you know, just IP alone is, all of our movies nowadays are coming out of like a couple of studios IPs, right? That happened 100%. Decades ago. So I mean, I definitely think there's a lot of room for creation of this new type of media. And again, like their interactive media that they're kind of producing, I think is also super interesting too, and something where you can do in the future with blockchain stuff. Just how we always talk about with the Bandersnatch and the Broken Mirror or Black Mirror show and episode. And so there's a lot of Black Mirror.
Been a while, but yeah,
I love that show. But
a good show.
You know, the interactiveness of these things is something that they can actually utilize. So again, I think there's such a huge gap in between what we're going to be using NFTs for now to what we will be in the future. You know, it's just a drop in the bucket at this point.
No, it definitely makes sense. And one of the things also, like, obviously it's a little bit different where a lot of these projects do give the IP to the owner. And a lot of people do a great job of this, of creating that persona, from Jenkins the valet to, I'd like to say, us with your doodle and my cool cat, and like the persona of Red Sox guy, the persona of Crypto Crier, the persona of Nate Digital, the persona of FUD, all these K-Duck, all these people at NRN, as well as, again, obviously we're there, but like there's other individuals, and the one that comes to mind every single time is Jenkins the valet. I love the aspect of the person that owns it has the ability and the opportunity to grow that IP, but I still think that these projects are doing it. They're not fulfilling enough to help out that IP in that sense as well. people are building these personas and doing these things and doing these shows, and you don't necessarily see the backing of the projects or the help behind it. And I really do think that it's an opportunity for these communities to become even stronger, allowing these characters in the comic books. One of the things that we saw with like Cool Cats, for example, and of course I will bring this up, and I would assume other people have this also, but I'm obviously in the ecosystem where in the first comic book it was just flat out the first comic. In the second one coming out for them, they actually had a competition where now they're going to incorporate some of the people that won this competition in the comic book, and you can build and help build that IP, not necessarily just myself, me, Red Sox guy, Mateo, but also the Cool Cats is using, if it's a contest or a thank you to someone that's been in the space with them for so long, an opportunity to help them build themselves up and help them create an IP for themselves. Like, I just feel like this is an opportunity for these projects, for these companies, for these startups to make the community even stronger for those long time holders. Opportunity for those people that have held for 2, 3, for 1, I almost said 3 years. Nothing, the NFTs haven't been, not that many NFTs have been around for 3 years, but 1, 2 years. And again, I just think it's an opportunity there. And I feel like a lot of projects are dropping the ball. The one I will say, and by the way, when we see even a little bit of the light of the storytelling, for example, do you remember when the Other Side trailer dropped?
For sure.
That was like, there was people on YouTube saying like, yo, this is sick, but it has to do with NFTs, so I don't like it. But like, that first reaction was like, yo, this is grade A level production, looks awesome, but I don't like NFTs. But like, that's fine. We'll get you around in a few years. But on the side, we'll get you past that in a little bit when you realize that those are your assets in all of these movies, shows, and all this, and you're like, oh crap, it makes sense. But right now, what these projects need to do is, I hope they take a page from the textbook of Cool Man Dan and Cool Man and what they're doing there. Hopefully they do a better job as well. And maybe on the side of these smaller commercial, again, the smaller trailer of like the Other Side and things like that, and they expand into it. We need these shows. You know what? We don't need shows. I just need 2 to 3 to 4 to 5 minute clips of character development for the main people in the Gutter ecosystem, in the Cool Cats ecosystem, in the Dead Fellas ecosystem, and anything that's in my
just how we saw those like little Gutter shorts. Like those were not, those like third party shorts that they had, little videos talking about the whatever the fast food restaurant. Those were awesome. Not even related to the company. It's just using people using the IP and stuff like
phenomenal stuff.
Yeah.
But I want the projects to do it, because that's where we're at. Remember, we had Metropolis co-founders on, and they were building IPs for other projects, which by all means, awesome, great. But I need storytelling from the projects themselves, or go hire someone to do it. Remember, Stan Lee wasn't the founder of Marvel. He was just a hire from Marvel. They hired him to be one of the storytellers of Marvel. And then later down the road, guess what? He had a bigger role in the company. Find that person that will bring these characters to life. I know all these projects have incredible artists, but you need to also have the storyteller that literally brings these characters into the lives of everyone in the world. Put that on a t-shirt. That's my rant. That's my epiphany. Please go ahead and do this, because I want this wall to be less actually no, I want it to be more Marvel, but I need some NFT stuff over here. Give me a Funko of all my characters and whatnot. And you know what's really funny? We're talking about like the metaverse earlier, like, oh, we should stay away from in real life stuff, and I'm over here trying to get more Funkos in real life. So maybe maybe it's a double entendre here. We're trying to flip stuff around here. But that pretty much wraps it up for my side of my rant. Any comments on the rant? Are we good to go?
No additional ranting for me.
No additional ranting. That pretty much sums it up for the people out there needing to find a show right now. Crier, what are you watching that you would recommend right now? One show, go.
Oh, I just started watching Severance, and it's really good.
Okay, on what platform?
It's on Apple TV.
Apple TV. All right, perfect. So that's one show. For me, just watch One Piece. Forget everything else. that pretty much wraps up for us. Thank you so much for tuning into another episode of Nerd FT Radio, and we'll catch you next week. And we're a week closer to Miami Art Basel. Art Basel. We'll catch you later. Have a good rest of your day. Peace.
Peace.
We're now beaming into Nerd FT Radio.